Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. So today what I got for you is a link summoning tutorial. Now, a lot of players are just getting back into the game or just starting. This is pretty complicated for them to understand. There's a lot of different parts that come into it. You got your link ratings, you got your arrows, the extra monster zone. Some people says it complicates Yu-Gi-Oh a lot. It kind of does. But the more you play it, you kind of get used to it. So, and what I'm going to do today is help you learn how to do it. So, yeah, but before we begin, it helps to watch a lot of different videos. So I'm going to throw some links in the description to a couple other channels that I think do a really good job of explaining it as well. And so if you like today's video, like, subscribe, notification bell. If you want to see more, yeah, I got a lot more coming up. So a couple different other tutorials, pendulums, how to summon, basically how to Yu-Gi-Oh. So, alright, and let's just jump into the video. Alright, so I think the first thing that I should explain about link summoning, especially for you older players, is the zones changed. So now you have your 5 main monster zones, but you have these 2 zones up here called extra monster zones. Now, as the name implies, they're for extra deck monsters. So, back when it was just pendulum format, well, pendulums, what you would have, you'd be able to summon all your monsters in the main monster zone. But now that we have links, you have to start out in these zones. So, explaining how they work, first of all, you get one, your opponent gets one. However, let's say there's no monsters on the field, right? No extra deck monsters on the field. You can pick whichever zone you want, but if your opponent has one in this zone, then you'd have to put it in this zone. Or vice versa. But if there's none, you get to pick which one you would like. Alright, so first off, link summoning, I think the easiest way to explain it, especially to older players, is it's similar to contact fusing. Now, all you need to contact fuse is the correct material. You just send it to the graveyard and summon out whatever monster you're going, which is how links work. So, here to kind of explain this, I got this link monster here. It only needs 2 monsters. So, basically, what you can do, get 2 monsters on the field, send them, and you summon it out to the extra monster zone. Remember, because there's... Now, you can put them in the main monster zone, and I'm going to explain how that works in just a few seconds here. But, so, I hope kind of explain how to summon these easy enough. It's pretty simple. As long as you have the material right here on the field, you can send them. Now, this tells you what the materials are, like what's required, but this tells you how many you have to use. So, for example, this one takes 3 plus effect monsters. That's its minimum, that's its requirement, is 3 or more. But it's a link 4, which means you would use 4 effect monsters. So, yeah. So, further into summoning them, however, there are other ways you can do it. So, alright, this is, as you can see, this is your link rating. It tells you how many monsters you need. This tells you what kind of monsters you need. So, this needs 3 plus effect monsters, and it's a link 4. This is basically telling you need a minimum of 3 effect monsters. Now you're probably thinking like, well, how are you going to summon a monster that needs 4 by using 3? Well, that's pretty simple. See, what you can do is, let me get some stuff on the field right here real quick. Let's say you have this on the field, right? So, what you can do is, since this has a link rating of 2, it also counts as 2 monsters. So, let's say this needs a minimum of 3, right? So what you would do, since this counts as 2, right there, you can use that in 2 other monsters to summon it out. It's pretty straightforward on summoning them. It takes a lot of getting used to because there are a lot of rules and complications. It's something that I kind of suggest, you know, you just keep playing with them and you'll get used to it. But, alright, so that's how you summon them, but what else goes with them? Because obviously, you know, I'm sure y'all see the arrows on them. So, alright, getting rid of these again. What these arrows do is if you summon a link monster to an extra monster zone, right, then this becomes a place where you can summon another monster from the extra deck. So, basically, let's say I have 2 materials on the field, right? Get rid of them. Summon Reaper-Docus. This becomes a zone that I can summon another extra deck monster to. So let's say I have this on the field, Eater of Millions. What I can do is, since it meets the requirements of one of my other Link monsters, Link Kuriboh, send it, which, by the way, just in case you were wondering, level 1. Since it meets requirements, send the material to the graveyard, special summon it out. So normally, if this wasn't there, it would have to be here. But since it has an arrow pointing to your side of the field, you can summon monsters from the extra deck to those as well. However, they don't count as these zones. They're still main monster zones. You can just special monsters from the extra deck there as long as there's an arrow pointing to it. Which comes up a lot with people that don't know how link summoning works. I see it all the time. It's a bit confusing. You'll kind of get that concept as you play, like the difference between main and extra monster zones. But yeah, these arrows, you can summon extra monster zones too. Now, if an arrow is pointing at your opponent, however, you do have to keep in mind that that also gives them a zone to summon to. But, alright. So, some other things I should explain. You can't take the same link and go into a different one, right? So, like, Link Kuriboh is a link 1. Now, I was showing you how you could use this, like a link 2 and 2 other monsters to make one that needs a minimum of 3 and is a link 4. So, you can use this to climb, but you can't use it to go into another one. So, the best way to explain this, let's say I have Link Kuriboh on the field, right? It's a link 1, which means it counts as 1 monster. So, let's say I want to summon this out. I can't use the Link Kuriboh to go into this, even though the Link Kuriboh counts as 1 monster. Because, 1, it doesn't meet the summoning requirements. 2, I don't know necessarily why this is, but it's against the rules. You can't summon link monsters like that. I know I'm kind of like, I don't really know how to explain it. It's hard. You can't use the same link rating to summon another of the same link rating. There we go. Perfect way to explain it right there. So yeah, since it's a link 1, I can't go into another link 1. Now if I had this and another monster on the field, or this and another link I can go into. Ah, where'd you go? It disappeared. Oh, here it is. You can go into another monster. However, though, let's say I have this on the field and this. Now, as you can see here, this one's a link 3. This one's a level 1 monster. However, this only needs 2 monsters to summon out. So, you don't have to actually use the link rating. You can use it as just 1 monster, because it counts as either the monster that it is, or it can count as 3. So, like, I could get rid of these 2 to summon this, or I could have these 3 out, and this will count as 2 for something bigger. So, and then another thing I think I should go over is, if you have your link monster in the graveyard, if you special summon it out of the graveyard, it doesn't count as specialing from the extra deck. Anywhere that you special summon a monster that's not from the extra deck, it goes in here. doesn't count. Even if it's a Link, Fusion, Synchro, XZ, or Pendulum, if it's not summoned from the extra deck and it's summoned from like the graveyard or the banish pile, or you take it from your opponent's side of the field, it goes into main monster zone. So, pretty sure I've been over everything. Link climbing. Yeah. The best thing I recommend is just keep watching tutorials to kind of get it. It's easy to pick up as you play. So, the main thing you just got to remember is that Link monsters, you have to start out in the extra monster zone. Then, if there's an arrow pointing to, you can summon a monster there. And then, you also got to remember Link ratings. The Link rating tells you how many monsters your monster can count as instead of just being 1. So like since it says 2, it can count as, I can use it as 2 instead of just using it as the 1 monster it is. So, alright. I tried to explain that as best as I can. I hope I was able to help you out. Like I said, it's kind of similar to contact fusing, where you just send the materials to the graveyard. There's not, as long as you can meet the requirements that it says, that's all you have to do. But yeah, it's gonna be it for today's video. I hope I helped out. I'll leave a link down in the description to some other videos that hopefully will help you out as well. But yeah, if you enjoyed it and you thought it was informative or you want to see more, hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell. I plan on doing a lot more Yu-Gi-Oh tutorials just for people that are getting into it. But this is the first one I wanted to do because people normally have a problem with this summoning mechanic. Especially, it's like the most complex one. Every other's simple compared to this. So, but yep, alright, and that's going to be Team Big Play signing off.